Our speaker for today is Rachel Pepling. She's from the American Chemical Society. She's the online editor for Chemical and Engineering News magazine. She has been with C&EN for more than 10 years and is in the current role oversees all the digital properties of the magazine, including its website, digital edition, blog network, social media presence, and award-winning mobile app. So she's going to give us a real-life case study of her experiences with taking the step towards an app.
Thank you, Melanie. As Melanie said, I'm going to basically tell you the story of C&EN Mobile. I realize I've given away the end by saying that we did actually end up needing an app, but stick with me anyway. And I think we're probably also running kind of short on time a little bit, or
we're a little short, but it's the last session of the day, so
I will channel Lee Rainey because I don't want to keep you guys for too long. I'm not a native New Yorker, so you don't have to worry about me going too fast, but I will move things along a little bit. I do work for Chemical and Engineering News magazine, which we refer to fondly as C&EN, not CNN. We're a weekly publication, a news magazine, talking about everything happening in the chemistry enterprise. So our story actually starts with a different product that ACS has put out, ACS Mobile. And I start there because we learned a lot of lessons. We learned a lot of lessons by this app that was produced by the journal's counterpart in the publications division. So it was launched in March 15th of 2010. It was developed in-house, so the developer who put together this app actually was the lead, or the technical lead for C&EN Mobile, which was infinitely useful to share that in-house resource. The ACS Mobile was developed in order to stay competitive among the journals in an emerging market. Users of the journals were asking for an app, and it was a potential revenue source. Not sure how big, you never are until you actually put something out there and see how it goes. So, let's see what else was there. So, and all of the journals. So basically, the app has an ASAP feed. So all of the as soon as publishable manuscripts before they are published in print are published online. ACS Mobile allows readers to follow all of the ASAPs from the 39 journals. You can bookmark them. You could access the full text articles if you had a subscription or if your institution subscribed. And there is also a tab to the latest news feed from C&EN. Initially, the app it is available on all three platforms. It was initially only released on the iPhone and iPod, and then most recently on Android. At first it cost $4.99, now it's free. There are two main reasons for that switch. One was it ended up not being a huge revenue resource. It did generate some, but not enough to warrant the second reason, which was the cost was becoming a barrier to usage. So the journal's websites receive millions of visitors or page views a month, and the mobile app was only capturing a fraction of that. It turns out once the app became free, you saw a spike in downloads. People love free apps. You can see some of the usage stats there. 22,000 downloads is not too bad. What I found interesting was that very last bullet, is the almost 146,000 latest news views, which means there was some interest in seeing C&EN content on a mobile device. So we have been considering what the mobile experience for C&EN ought to be. And if we were going to develop anything for mobile, which platform makes the most sense? So this is a little skewed because it's the end of 2010, and we were looking at this more over the summer. But you can tell that it's predominantly Apple. And that iPad wedge was a little smaller at the time, too, that we were considering it. So the obvious choice was we would have to develop, an Apple app. But Android was smaller but significant. 20% isn't insignificant. So we wanted to go ahead and keep an eye on it. We didn't want to ignore it, so we figured we'd keep that in our plans as well. So did we need an app, or was there some other way that we could deliver a mobile experience? Basically, we went through what Drew and Richard have explained is why put out an app? What are you trying to get out of it? The main reasons that we went with an app is because our readers requested it. They didn't say, I just want to see it on the phone. They said, I want an app, and I want to be able to read the magazine offline. And it was that sort of offline part that shifted us toward the app experience, so that users could download the magazine and some of its related content and read it regardless of if they were connected. Which also ties into number 2. Our goal is to make our magazine content available wherever our readers are getting their news. It's the reason we have RSS feeds, we deliver email alerts, we're on Facebook and Twitter. Wherever they are, we want to be. So if they're getting their news from mobile apps, from other publications, then that's where we're going to need to go as well. We also saw an opportunity in the market. We're a pretty niche magazine, being chemistry news coverage, which has its advantages, but we don't have that many competitors to begin with, strictly. You can start getting into the general science news categories, and those are tougher to keep up with. But there weren't that many science news apps, and definitely not that many chemistry news apps. And we also saw an opportunity to offer the magazine to non-ACS members. So one minor detail I left out in the beginning was mentioning the magazine is that it is a member benefit. So it goes out to all 164,000 ACS members and institutional subscriptions. But our non-member subscription rate is pretty low. So this was an opportunity to provide, some teachers and undergrad students who like getting occasional copies of the magazine. They had an outlet to do so. And then finally, ACS Mobile had been well received. It sort of ties back to that first slide where it said there had been a bunch of page views showing some interest in getting CNN content online as well. So once we determined we needed an app, it was now a question of whether we should build it in-house, as we did with ACS Mobile, or if we needed to look at outsourcing. And it turns out that we had constrained resources internally, so we looked to partner and start a relationship with Kiwi Tech, for vendors out in the audience, I see, which was a good experience. We worked with them to develop a prototype and then move on to develop the actual app that launched. I highly recommend testing a concept. So what we ended up doing was creating a prototype, a beta version. We did that in 6 weeks with the help of Kiwi Tech. It was fun and intensive and stressful, but it was a good opportunity to test drive each other. It was a mutually beneficial test drive there. We got to see how Kiwi Tech worked. They got a better understanding of what our products and processes and goals were, and we developed a nice working relationship out of that. So after 6 weeks, I took the app, the prototype loaded up on a device, went up to our national meeting in Boston in August, and showed it to anybody who crossed my path in the exhibition hall. And showed it to them just to get some feedback. Are they interested in the concept? Do they like how it worked? One of the ideas was, or our main idea was that the app itself would be free. There are components to it that don't require subscriptions or anything. And would people then be willing to pay $2.90 or a small $2 to $3 fee to download each issue? Sort of a convenience fee to have it on your app. So when I showed it, everybody actually really liked it. They liked the concept. There was some feedback that we got to help improve it. And when I ran the pricing structure by them, they're like, well, that sounds reasonable. And I just want you to keep that in mind when I get to a couple of slides from now. The major thing we learned so favorable feedback to the app, but big thing that we learned was that the PDF version was not a good idea. Our initial thought was that we could take the PDFs that we were generating for our our digital edition, that we could work some compression magic, and then voila, have a mobile app-friendly version. That didn't really work so well. What we found out is that when we tried to compress an entire issue, which, remember, we're a magazine, so we have lots of pretty high-res graphics and a little bit of text. A lot of text, but a lot of graphics as well. It was so large that in order for it to be readable, it was so large that it was prohibitive to download. It would just quit. If we got the file down to a reasonable size to download, you couldn't read it. So we had to start all over again, well, sort of all over again, and take a different approach. Luckily, the magazine was also undergoing the implementation of a snazzy new XML-based workflow to feed content into a snazzy new website. So we thought, why don't we take that XML and use it what it's meant to be and repurpose and package it for the mobile app. So that's what we did. And then we had CNN Mobile come out in August. We did keep our model of a free app. Developed it for both Apple and Android. They showed up just about the same time. I realize the 9,000 downloads is pretty much a pittance compared to National Geographic, but I'm happy with that number. And the interesting thing is that 85% of our downloads are to iOS users, which actually aligns pretty closely to that chart that I showed you way at the beginning. Let's see. So users can download issues from August of 2011. Sorry for the missing digit. Issues are free to ACS members. So when we launched the app, we made all of the August issues for free as a way to entice people to see what they were going to get before we said you're going to have to start paying for these. There was such uproar at the potential to have to pay from the ACS membership that we backtracked and said, okay. So then we made the September issues all free for everybody while we worked out how to get the member access set up. And starting in October, everything's continued to be free for ACS members once they log in, and then non-members can pay $2.99 for each issue. In addition to the weekly issues, there are feeds to our latest news, Central Science blogs, job postings, and our CNN YouTube channel. So none of those will work if you're not connected, but the issues you can download and read them at any point in time. Well, you can read them at any point in time. And then just this year, we won the Pros Award for Best New E-Product in Sciences and Mathematics. And so I figured I could. In a second. So one of the things we wanted to do, I knew that I wanted to do from the beginning, was to promote the app. Was not to do a tutorial type video, but to have some fun with it. And this is what we came up with. Just a sec.
When you have the entire world of chemistry in the palm of your hands, keeping up with the latest chemistry news is effortless, and that is convenient mobile.
I don't know if you guys can hear this.
After downloading the app for free, suddenly I have everything available to me. I got job postings, latest news, Central Science blog entries. It's only $2.99 for each issue. I've got everything I love about CNN right in my pocket. It used to be that when I go to ACS conferences, I'd have this huge stack of CNN magazines. But now that I have the mobile app, I can just pack them all right on my iPad, iPhone, or Android, and it's no problem at all.
I love commenting directly on Central Science blog posts. If an article is really interesting for my family, I'll post it on their Facebook page. If something really needs a comment right away, I'll tweet about it, or I'll share it with people on LiveJournal and MySpace. Reddit and Dig are where I go to share the content.
We designed the My Library feature so that users can purchase issues right on the device. They can download them, they can view them offline if they want. And with the app's user-friendly design, it's pretty easy to get lost in places for CNN. I'm having so much fun reading CNN. I can't put my iPad down. It has changed the way I...
Buffering. Sorry. We're getting to the best part.
read chemistry news.
CNN Mobile is amazing. It's the best thing to happen to chemistry news since, well, CNN.
Get modern. Download the CNN mobile app.
So when you've gone through the development process, it's nice to have a nice outlet here to have some fun. And we played that video everywhere. We played at the national, so we launched in August. At that national meeting, we played it at the exhibit hall. We played it any place that the meeting video was looping. And we're actually going to use it as more of a marketing tool where we have webinars that we run right before the webinar starts, we'll be running little promo ads, and that'll be one of those. So exposure is key. It's one of my keys to success that we will get to. So what we learned from this project is, number one, is that small, highly motivated cross-functional team. It speaks to this agile theme that we've had going on. So you can make changes quickly, so that you can test things out and have new ideas ready to go. It's important to understand your audience. It's one of the reasons that we didn't bother developing a BlackBerry app, even though I had 3 complaints that we didn't do so, but it just wasn't a large, the data wasn't there to support it. Keep it simple is pretty self-explanatory. It will make your life easier. Focus, as Richard said, on what it is you want to do and hone in on it. But allow yourself to experiment, start fresh, which is what we did with the prototype. It's immensely useful. And accept, close to the rated number 5, accept something will go wrong, because it will. Something won't work, a defect will go away and come back. You'll think PDFs will load nicely onto it, and it doesn't. You think members will be okay with paying extra, they won't. Just roll with it. It doesn't hurt to have plans B, C, and D waiting in the wings as well. Continue to innovate. It's not a one-shot deal. As you heard before, iteration is key. We haven't stopped improving the app. As we've gotten feedback, we've made changes. We're planning to introduce ads and enter the newsstand this summer. I think newsstand will be in pretty soon. And then once we kind of get ACS Mobile in the shape that we want, we're starting to explore some other mobile products that might be of interest to our users. So I mentioned you want to monitor the response and keep listening. Grow a thick skin, because some of the comments are sort of, not useful and just mean. But that's all right. Make yourself good. And be prepared to market your app. Build a fun video. Make sure you tell family and friends to go and give you a couple of high 5-star ratings. Just because you build it doesn't mean that people can find it, especially when you're a small chemistry magazine. You don't show up in the news publications quite so easily. So you have to really work to get the word out. Some key don'ts that I wish I had known. Don't anger your members or subscribers by trying to charge them. No. The main reason is, of course, you don't want to scare away your potential customer base, but if they are angered, they will let you know it by giving you low rankings. The funny thing was that when we first launched and people thought that we were going to be charging for them, they would go into the Apple iTunes store and give us like a 1-star rating. They had no complaints about the functionality of the app. I think they actually liked it. It worked well, but it was just the fact that they're like, oh, you're going to charge me. Okay. And then you pay attention to the messaging within your app itself. We found that even though issues were free and all you had to do was download, one of the confirmation messages said something about purchase, and then people bailed because they thought they were buying something. So it's details like that that you have to pay attention to. Buggy versions, again, they will hurt your rankings and comments in the stores, and then they don't change once you fix that bug. And then if you have particularly a version that crashes, you often will lose potential people because they'll try it once and then not come back. And then finally, Android and Apple are definitely different platforms. Apple's probably the easier of the two to develop for because it's a pretty constrained environment. You only have a limited number of devices. There's a whole approval process. Android is more rogue. You have the more potential for rooted, which is the equivalent of jailbroken devices. So it's just trickier to make sure it works consistently across all of the platforms. And with that, I think we're only a few minutes over, and I'll open it up for questions. Alrighty then. We're going to leave the video and press 2. So.
Do we have any questions for any of the speakers before we wrap up? All right. Well, I want to thank Richard, Drew, and Rachel for coming today and sharing their experiences.